Right, here's a quick video on pretty much the type of sharp edge tool that's carried in the UK by the average street criminal. Right? So usually just some kind of small kitchen knife, easily concealable to hand, about this length. Yeah, nothing major about it. Of course, that could be a larger type kitchen knife, which is likely to be hidden from view, but could be on the person also. A screwdriver, just classic screwdriver, or even a bradle type tool. And a standing knife. Standing knife, or any kind of craft knife with an extendable blade. Of course, this is primarily a slashing weapon. This is primarily a stabbing weapon. Both of these are primarily stabbing or slashing tools. Right? Understand, any item, any bladed article is merely a tool. Take somebody's bad intention to turn said tool into a weapon. In which case, someone will stab you with a shard of tin, shard of glass, or a fucking pencil, right? But they're the average things that's carried about. Less common here in the UK is any kind of folding blade carried on a clip, like so. It's more common to Europe. Can happen, but more common to Europe and the US. Now, all this is about pre-threat cues or weapon signatures that you're likely to notice, right? So clearly, if you saw this clip on a pocket, wherever you were, it would give you an indication the person's carrying an edge weapon. Also an indication if it's this side that they're right dominant. Right? Like I said, in the UK, you're less likely to see that. One of the things that you might see would be some kind of weapon printing, where if the tool's in the waistband and it's protruding, there's a good chance that you could see it. Two primary considerations are, if you're dealing with someone, always expect a weapon, and always expect more than one assailant. Right? So multiple assailants armed is the likelihood of what you're facing these days, right? But whenever you employ some form of contact management, situational control, be sure not to fixate only on the face. If the person's aggressive or looks intimidating, you're likely to get tunnel visioned in on the face. You want to keep a kind of broader peripheral focus, soft focus on the throat or the chin, so that you can scan and see what the hands are doing. Now, subject's either going to, if it's a premeditated assault, going to have the weapon to hand. If the weapon's to hand, there's a number of ways in which it can be done. So if we use this simple blade as an example, one is thumb in the blade, where you can see my hand, but the blade is thumbed so that you can't see it to hand straight away, and it can be brought into play really quickly. Another would be palming it against the thigh, like so. You can't see the tool at all. Again, it can be brought into play quite quickly. One thing that you might notice if it's this way is that the side structure looks a little stiff, looks a slight anomaly compared to the other side. If you don't know what you're looking for, you won't see it. Right? The other famous one is palming the weapon or cupping it. So palming it in your hand like so. Again, you can see the fingers, but you can't see the blade. Right? Now, most natural positions of the hands when they're empty usually show the thumbs. If there's anything that is obscuring the thumb in some way, obscuring the fingers in some way, or placing it pressed against the side of the body, it's an indication that there's something to hand. Other methods that they start to employ could be the blade's already in the hand and it's kind of in the pocket, like so, hanging out, and the hand's just on it. You know, this hand can be put the other side so it's quite symmetrical, so you're less likely to notice it. Right? If the person has the blade to hand and it's behind the back, well, then they're a fucking amateur. You know, if you get caught like this, or you're not even aware of someone approaching you in this way, then you know you want to ask yourself what you're doing. But more sophisticated methods are, it would be to hand in the pocket and the hand's just on the handle. You won't see it. Another is to hand like so and the other hand's across the front. So it's concealing the blade. So now you see it. From this position, literally just bringing it across, cutting the throat this way, cutting the throat or the face this way. Very quick and into play and you won't even see it coming. If it's in some sort of a reverse grip, again, it could be hand in the pocket like so. It could be hand here and then this way, and again brought into play really quickly. You know? But usually it would be either to hand or on the person. So again, recap, see the thumb in this way, where you can see the hand but you can't see the blade. See the palm like so, or cupped rather, see the cupped like so. See the palm against the thigh, this way, and it's in the hand. If it's behind the back, well, that's quite obvious, but again, people can miss it. Or if it's two hand in the pocket, hand on it, won't really notice it, particularly if the hand the other side is symmetrical. Or it could be two hand covered with the other hand, like I said. This could also be in a reverse grip formation, same deal, hidden in the pocket or hidden from the front. Right? If the tool's on the subject, if you go with the idea that 90+% of the population are right-handed, then it's usually going to be in this quadrant of the belt line. Now, during my work in security, implementing hundreds and hundreds of searches, I found weapons and contraband in many different places. But primarily, it was waistband area. So as an example, you might have a tool in the front quadrant of the pocket covered with a garment, in which case during the conversation the person needs to lift the garment and reach for the tool. The key pre-threat cue that you're most likely to see whether the tool is hidden in the waistband area from the front or the back is this elbow will pop out, it will just pop like so. This can be obscured with some kind of misdirection as the person turns, but usually you'll see this. If it's from the front, you'll be lifting the garment, reaching in for the tool. If it's behind the waistband this way, which is very common, yeah, then it will be elbow pops, hand reaches behind. Elbow pops, hand reaches behind. Like I said, quite often it'll be deception or misdirections. One example with that might be person points this way as he reaches for the tool, and now it's already to hand. Right. So reaching into the waistband where the elbow pops, the hand obscures by a garment or disappears from view is a clear tell. Another very common premeditated assault is literally when a person just reaches the back pocket and then stabs. So in this case, big carving knife just placed in the back pocket, like so. Here, got it ready, put it here, engage the subject with some sort of dialogue, reach for it really quickly, and now it's in play. So these are some things that you might want to bear in mind when you're dealing with anyone. A lot of people understand the idea or the concept of situational control, using a fence, using an umbrella posture to keep somebody at bay, but they often neglect the idea of watching where the hands are. The thing to remember is, facial expression, particularly if he looks mean, can be intimidating and insulting, but the fucking hands will kill you. So be aware of where they are.